Welcome to another episode of Make Money Matter. And today I'm here with the amazing Tjibaria. And we've got a very interesting topic today. And I haven't spoken about this for, I think, a couple of years now. It was on the channel. And it is on the topic of how to actually make money fast if you are broke. Now, I know that... and by the way, I use this word broke, and I think some people may feel a little bit offended by it. It just means that you're struggling with money, basically, is what I'm saying. And if that's the case, then people will find it very hard because a lot of people, they think like this. I don't know if you've heard people say this before, is if I had the money, I would do this. Or I can really make this thing into $1 million business, but I just need some money.
Yeah.
Right? And people think that money is the problem. And we have this saying, we say, don't let money stop you from making money, right? So those of you taking notes, I want you to first write this down. Don't let money stop you from making money. And then moving on from there is when you are broke, is to say, and a lot of people are thinking, oh, I don't have money, that's why I can't make money. Actually, that's not true. Because if you look at the greatest entrepreneurs out there, the most successful entrepreneurs, they all started with no money. And how did they start? Using the word leverage.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm going to pass it on to Tjibaria. Just have her on the spot there, talk a little bit about leverage and how you can actually leverage.
Yeah. And I want to start this whole leverage idea off by the example that you always mention at events, right? Like, especially when you are at home thinking right now, like, how do I go about, starting anything? Just picture yourself being strapped to a time bomb. And in 1 week, you have to make 10K, for instance, right? Would you be thinking, oh, I'll do it later, you'll do a little bit more Netflix and all that type? No, you wouldn't. You become resourceful, right? And this is the second thing that we want you to write down, comment below, is that it's never ever the lack of resources, it's only ever the lack of resourcefulness. So when you were put in that situation and you would have to come up with a plan to find money, then you would go and think outside of the box. You would be, speaking to a lot of different people. You would go on the streets. You'll make yourself available to, different opportunities, different jobs, maybe, sell what you are very good at, like sell your surfers or find products to sell, right? So that's the first thing that you have to put your mind to, is that if you were put in a situation where you had no other chance but to be resourceful, you would be. That's the first part. And then the second part is that when it then comes to the fact, like, how do you make money from either selling products or services or value or messages, it comes from you getting two skills down. And those two skills are, first of all, marketing, second of all, sales. And when it comes to that, the most easy way of how you can get good at marketing and sales is by just finding a product, leveraging another company, leveraging something that already exists, and bring it to people, add value to people.
Because there's so many different ways of like working with affiliate systems or drop shipping or loads of different ways.
Even if you think about Amazon, like so many people go on Amazon, these are buy-ready people, and you can make commissions from Amazon, like up to 10% by just having your own Amazon link. And this is free to do. So literally there's like the two things that you really need to double down on is get good at marketing, get good at building relationship, get good at effective communication with people, and just speak to a lot of people. Like, it's a numbers game. And then second of all, allow yourself to understand that selling is surfing and to get good at that game as well.
I think that another thing as well that really helps people is usually when we work with our students, we have something called IPA, income producing activities.
Yes.
And what we do is we give them, let's say, a couple of weeks. And this is something that you could actually practice and try yourself, is give yourself, let's say, just 1 week. Maybe everybody start with 1 week is a good start.
Yeah.
So 7 days, get into IPA mode, income producing activities. And what that means is don't do any activities unless they are income producing. Now, some of you will be like, what does that mean, right? How do you do that? So if it isn't income, let's say, for example, your friend says, hey, you want to go for a coffee? You think, no, it's not income producing. So you say, no, not this week, maybe another time, right? If somebody says, hey, can you go and buy this for me? It's like, well, that's not income producing. No. Or then you start thinking again, getting creative. How can I make it income producing, right? So let's say somebody says, hey, your friend says to you, hey, I want to get my website sorted. Can you come over sometime and help me do it? Then you can think, hey, wait there a second. You need to get your website sorted. Now you need to get creative and think, hey, do I know somebody who
Yeah.
knows how to create a website? If I do, then I leverage one side, leverage the other side, and I form a deal in between, and I make the money in between.
100%.
So once you start channeling your mind like that, and why this is so important, actually, like, if I got to change the education system at schools, I would actually get this put into the curriculum for kids to actually practice
Yeah.
because, like, such an important skill of money, right? Where we never get taught this stuff at school, which
Yeah.
is like, it's very interesting, isn't it?
It really is. And I think one very important point that you're mentioning right now is that, again, the leverage about if you don't know how to do something specifically,
How
I
can you
bet
find
Yeah,
somebody?
there's someone in your network that knows how to do it. Or there's some company online that you can find that has an affiliate program. So also this notion when, what a lot of people had, and I personally had it as well, when starting in business, thinking that, oh, it has to be your thing. That's not true at all. The only core requirement of entrepreneurship is helping people, whether it is with whatever you have to offer, or if you can bring someone the solution from another company or another person. That's equally as important.
A lot of people, when they talk about business, they always talk about win-win situations. Now you can look at it as win-win situation, but actually how I like people to shift their mind, especially if they're struggling with money, is to shift on the mindset of how do I help other people?
Yeah.
Instead of saying, hey, how can this help me? People always think of, oh, I need to help me first and then help the other person. No. I'm saying, how can you channel your focus to say, how can I serve other people first?
Yeah.
So an example I gave, this is many years back. I had a coaching client and didn't know how to start a business, was into marketing. I don't know if you remember this story, design and things like that. And that's what they studied at school. And they want to start a business. They didn't know what to start. They said they want to do some sort of marketing agency. This was actually even before social media marketing was so, the big, all this was so big, right? Right now is huge. But back then, even when I was teaching franchising back in the day, and I give him the example. I said, hey, if you want to do marketing agency, actually, why don't you do this? And I give him the idea of going actually on highway. Remember this one? I said, go on highway and check out the farmland that is available.
Yeah.
And I said, speak to the farmer and negotiate just a small space. So let's say it's like, I don't know, 2 meters or 2 meters by 3 meters or something. Just a small piece of land out of the acres that they have. And see how much you can rent that part for. The one that's next to the highway, the part that's next to the highway. Just a small piece, which isn't going to affect the farmer.
Yeah.
And then they negotiated, and he negotiated. The farmer says, yeah, of course, take it. And then he took that for, I think it was just like a couple of $100 a month or something like that, right? Just a small space. Then I said, now you need to apply for planning permission to be able to put some banner there, right? And then apply for planning permission. I said, don't pay the farmer yet because you've got nothing there and you've got no money to pay the farmer. So I said to him, now you've created one negotiation.
Yeah.
Now go to the other side, create the second negotiation. So the second side is to go to a business owner. Well, first of all, I said, go to the government and find out the facts, how many cars pass by this highway every single day. Then I said, now find some business owners and ask a business owner and say, hey, would you like your brand to be featured in front of, I don't know, let's say it was 50,000 cars a day.
Yeah.
50,000 impressions every single day. Would you like that? Would you like your brand to be there? Would you like your product to be there? Would you like your service to be there? The answer is obviously yes. The business owner is going to say yes. Then you could compare it to, let's say, newspaper ads and things like that, which cost like thousands, 5,000, 10,000, easy for a few impressions, right? And I said, okay, so over a month, you get a few million eyeballs on your brand. How much will you pay for that? So he spoke to several business owners, and he got one business owner which was willing to pay 2,000, right? £2,000. Now, £2,000, then you strike the deal. You commit the deal here, £2,000. You take the 200, you pay the farmer, and then you put the banner there, and then suddenly he's making 1,800 passive.
Yeah.
The printing is done. It's on the highway. And I said, with zero outgoing, right? Zero outgoing. You negotiate the deal on the left side, negotiate the deal on the right side, then you strike the deal.
Yeah.
Once you get the money in, then money goes out. So actually, one thing that my mentor used to teach me at the beginning years of business, he used to say, it's never the lack of money, it's only ever the lack of creativity.
Yeah.
So we can also think that way. How do we get creative and how can we leverage both sides?
Yeah, absolutely. And also if you think about, these influencers right now and how like influencers get paid to also feature like wear watches or different things like that, right? And you have these people that are literally, they're traveling everywhere. They get the tickets paid for them. They go to the most luxury hotels, all paid for them, just because they then make a review about it, right? And you may be thinking right now, like, okay, but I there's no hotels coming to me or no airlines coming to me paying that for me. But how about you think in exactly the way that Master just shared, that if you are already doing something right now, say you're already on a holiday and you're at a hotel anyways, how about you go to the owners and say, hey, can I make a review for you? And allow you to leverage that and get them to place it on their website, which obviously has traffic. They like to have a good review, and allow you to get more views from that and thereby build up your brand. And this is just one little example of what you can do, but it's about that creativity that you think, okay, what are the things I'm doing? Who are the people I'm meeting? How can I help? And then by that help, you leverage.
If people are in the mindset of, I'm broke, I can't make money, what am I going to do? I need money to make money. Actually, then you'll stay that way.
Yeah.
Right? It's a harsh reality. But if you can shift your mindset and say, hey, how do I become more creative? How do I become solution focused? Instead of thinking about the problems, how can I serve people here? Actually, even with the example that Tjibaria you were talking about just now, actually, they can do it on a different deal. There's so many, and there'll be people who are watching here, Instagram influencers, Facebook influencers, TikTok influencers who have loads of following. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands or even millions, who actually don't make that much money. Also, there are people like that because they don't know how to monetize. What I say is, if you're listening to this and you can get creative, actually, why don't you even play the middle person and say, hey, you can even approach a business, negotiate a deal and say, would you like it to be featured on a channel that has 100,000 following, has 500,000 following? Then you go to the person with 500,000 following and you act as the agency. It doesn't cost you any money, right? It takes you a little bit of time, a bit of negotiation with the influencer, a bit of negotiation with the business, and boom, you strike the deal, you make the business in between. So there's so many different options to be able to do this.
It's really, really crazy. Like, even also one of the things that works very well in marketing, but this can work in any industry, is, for instance, if you have a, something about SEO optimization, for instance, just to name one thing, right? And you look at websites of different businesses and you see like there's certain things that they're not doing well. Just send them an email, give them a few tips. This is what Neil Patel always talks about, right? Send them an email, give a few tips, and then, don't expect anything in return. And if you do that to a big number of businesses, at some point, some will come back to you and say, hey, thank you so much for that tip. Do you have more feedback?
Do you have any more services or anything like that can help us? Right?
Exactly. And then from that, you can start helping people. And this like the example that I give is marketing, because that's my field. But obviously, you can do this for a variety of other things. Just come exactly like what Master said before, from the perspective of helping an individual, and apply your creativity to it, help that person, and then a lot more can come from that. And have the excitement with it too, because actually, like, if you look at it from that point of view, it's an adventure. I don't know if you see it that way. It's a lot of fun, like coming up with these ideas and implementing it.
It is fun. I guess for the people who are actually struggling with money, maybe sometimes they get a little bit stressed out. How am I going to pay the next bill? So it's very hard for them to actually be in the fun mindset of it. It's difficult, but as we always say in all of our law of attraction teachings, is you can not attract what you want. You attract what you are. You have to become the vibration that you want. So even if you are lacking money right now, by feeling lack of money, actually you'll be in more lack of money because you attract what you are. So instead, think of how to interrupt that pattern, get back into joy frequency, feel gratitude for everything you have, and be solution focused. Focus on how can you serve other people right now and what difference you can make and how can you help people. Because when you help people and you continue to help, the more people you help, some will come back and they'll say, hey, can you help some more? And then that's when you have some service or some product that can help them too.
Yeah, 100%.
So guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it's been of some use to you and opened your mind up just a little bit to income and to actually making money. Remember, if you check any autobiography from any of the most successful and most wealthiest people out there, you'll see the beginning of their story. They were all rags to riches story where they started with nothing. And how is that possible? It's because of creativity. It's because they're solution focused. It's because they leverage and they're willing to take leverage, even if it's debt. There's something called good debt and bad debt. Taking good debt to actually borrow money to actually start something. So all these things are available out there for you to learn. If you would like to learn more, I know that Tjibaria has a masterclass coming up
Yes.
soon.
Yeah, masterclass, and that teaches you basically of how you can allow whatever you have. Because maybe right now you're thinking like, I'm not sure which of my talents, which of my knowledge I can use to apply this leverage strategy. Then in that masterclass, we'll also break down how you can think and write down the different skill sets that you have, and actually start using that online as well.
Beautiful.
That's one thing.
So that'll be the first link in the description. It's free for all to join. So make sure to join Tjibaria's masterclass. And secondly, there's also a group you can join, which is her Smile group, where she gets all very like-minded people all together to be able to empower each other and join the group. And Tjibaria shares a lot of value in there to keep you accountable with your finances and your financial freedom. So make sure to join that group too. And finally, if you enjoyed this video, please do hit the thumbs up, hit the like button. Also, comment below. Let us know where you guys have tuned in from. That's always nice to know. And finally, if you're new to this channel and you haven't already, remember to hit that subscribe button and the notifications button next to that's that little bell sign, by the way, because this year I'm dedicated to making daily videos to hold you accountable to make it your best year yet. But for now, guys, we're signing out. Ciao.